think we're ready. Let's get started now.
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make.
Hey guys, Tony the Soy Assassin. About like what, a minute earlier, but that's okay. Let's get started smoking because that's what we're here to do. Let me turn the lights up a little bit because it's kind of weird. Anyways, how's everybody doing? It is what? Oh yeah, Wednesday. One of those like hump day. Not very exciting day. Not a very exciting day. So the best way to get through a not very exciting day is with the cigar. And obviously you guys know what's going on right now. You guys know that we are gonna smoke the Filthy Viking, and you know, one of these are like the beginning of pretty much the history of you know, Cigar Daily Nation and Shadow Smoke's Legion, even back in the day TNT cigars, because TNT cigars used to have a cigar called the Filthy Viking. I can't remember what the other one was supposed to call, but I remember the Filthy Viking, even though I never bought that version of Filthy Viking. I've never purchased that, and now we don't have a chance to buy it because it's out of business. So let's take a look at the original design of the Filthy Viking, okay? And if you've ever seen this before, you know what I'm talking about. It's got the black lettering, the Filthy Viking, even though we call it Filthy Viking, but it's the Filthy Viking. It's got these like Aztec rings around it for coin, and you know I always see the coins right next to the side of the like the emblem, right next to the side of some cigars, and these ones just have like rings of like an Aztec kind of design, and a little crown on the top and bottom obviously say by Rocky Patel, but the new one is no longer made by Rocky Patel. And in the box, obviously, it's not the same anymore. The new box actually was supposed to just be like this. This is like a flap, you know, like that. And 5x50 Robusto. You know, if you're gonna ask me how I feel about this box, it's nice, but it's kind of underwhelming to me. Now, I like it. It saves some space, but that's really pretty much it. Save some space, right? There's some thing on the back says made in Nicaragua by American Viking, Cigar Co. And then there's AmericanVikingCigars.com. 20 handmade cigars, Tabacaleria Menusta, whatever that is. And on the front, there is some like the logo design. You know, I think that's kind of like what do you call that? Like a Nautica kind of ish, like a Pirates of the Caribbean kind of design, but I don't know. I don't know how that worked with me. I don't know yet, at least. So Plessia is Filthy Viking is still the old one because it used the same tobacco, right? What are you talking about? These two are not the same tobacco. They're very close. That's why we are comparing it, because I'm pretty sure they're not the same, right? In fact, I know for sure the new one costs more than the old one to produce. The new one costs more than the old one to produce. Looks like pizza to me. The review blend is, yes, it is. The new one is different. It's completely different, right? And let's take a look at the blend too. I mean the cigar band. What do you mean, really, Sherry? What's going on, Sherry? I'm about to get a blizzard. Sherry, make sure you stay indoor and stay warm, stay safe. Hi, Pete. Hi, Jared. Hi, Michael. Hi, Juan. And hi, Justin. Dustin is here too. We cannot disclose factory or manufacturer. Even though you can guess it. Alright? I'm not going to disclose it, but doesn't mean you can't guess it. Right? You could guess it. Now, so that's how it looks like. In comparison, I mean, this is towards more like an orange color. This is more like gold color, okay? Because I don't have the autofocus on right now, but let me get that on. Let me get that on so that you guys can really see the bend, right? So let's try and change this. And let's get focus in just a tad. All right, ready? All right, so here we go. So that's the design. It kind of basically take the middle design the same way as the regular Filthy Viking, but kind of embellish the same way in the top and bottom. But this is more gold. Like this is more gold in color. I did take out the salad. Of course, I took out the salad. All right, let me take this one out too. I took out the salad, of course. See, this is one more like a bronze color, and this is more gold color. So there's a difference between the two. See that? Overall design is very similar. I think the font is similar. They just filled in the top and the bottom, make it more round. And this one, they took away Cigar Daily logo that used to be here because now it's called the American Viking Company. So, 3 to 6 inches of snow equals blizzard. Come on, 3 to 6 inches is like me going out there in summer. Okay, so the blend is not the same. The manufacturer is not the same. But because the manufacturer is not the same, the blend obviously cannot be the same, right? Because the tobacco that they use will have available to each other are not the same. Okay? Yes, like I say, it's better quality tobacco for sure, according to my information, and it's also more costly to produce. And they try to keep it the same price range because it's more costly to produce. Now, if I were to talk about internal business, this overall will cost Cigars Daily more to sell than any other company. Right? The way they did it is so weird that it makes sense, so that it's no longer conflict of interest, but at the same time it costs them more to sell themselves. Everybody else get a cheaper price except them. You would think that Cigar Daily should get the cheapest price of all of them, but I think Cigar Daily end up paying more price than any other store that's gonna carry them, if they were set at the same price range. Let's see. The blend has to be different because it was partnership with Patel. Switching manufacturer changed. Yeah. Tomorrow evening we don't get snow. You do up there or preempt all programming to cover Blizzard of 2020. All right. So let's cut and let. All right, hey, I'll do some comparison between the smell and the two because if I don't smell it right away. In terms of smell, the old one smells better, but because I had the old one for a long time, like this is like one of the original. I just don't have the Robusto anymore because I smoked all the Robustos, so I don't think anybody else have that. So should have bought more, but I'm okay with the new ones too. No, it doesn't. So AA wrong. I would like to explain that to you. Oh, I didn't like that. Okay. Gotta loosen up the cap a little bit because it was tight. Anyways, let me explain this to you, okay? I am not gonna smoke both at the same time. I have things to do after this, so. Good try, though. The draw is a little tight for me, but that's okay. I say heat up, I think you'll do better. Okay, so let me explain why it costs more, okay? If you're a cigar company and you bought from American Viking the box of cigar, you just pay them whatever cost it is, the end, right? Whatever cost, the end. For Tim, for Cigars Daily, not only they gotta buy their own cigar at that price, because it's a set price, right? Buy the cigar and pay whatever amount. That amount they just pay themselves with, they have to report as income. So they pay more than anybody else because now they have to pay as income. Does that make sense? If they were to carry this by themselves, the Cigar Daily carry this by themselves, they will buy in and this is expense, right? They won't be taxed on income because this is expense. But because now they own both, Cigar Daily had to buy the cigar with the store money, and that store money translate to that company, and that company had to take that exact same money and pay income tax on that because now that's an income for that company. So technically, they had to pay. The American Viking will have to pay more money because now the money is worth less because now they had to pay income tax on that portion of money, and that was their own stock, and all the other store just pays them. So technically, Cigar Daily, to be able to sell it to you guys, they pay more than anybody else. Not to mention, Cigar Daily also had to pay sales tax, right? For Cigar Daily to purchase from their own company, they had to pay sales tax. And that amount of money became income, and they had to pay income tax. I don't know. Stiff. Maybe this thing needs a little bit longer of sitting in the thing, but yeah. I had a Boveda pack in there for a day now. Obviously, it's a little soon, but I didn't take that long to ship, so I don't think it's gonna be a problem. This thing was in the Boveda pack the entire time. So don't buy from Cigars Daily, buy from the other shop to make them more money. I will agree to that statement. I don't know if Tim likes to hear that, but if in a business point of view, they will do better if you buy from others, buy Filthy Viking from other stores. Kind of weird, right? But that's the case because now they are in wholesale business. They actually do well if others buy more from them, rather than themselves try to buy their own cigars. It doesn't make sense, but that's the way it is. Right? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So, in fact, if this is gotta be the case, I literally need to ask Tim, like, can we buy this from another store and then you give them discount so that we can get discount code to buy it from other store? Because buying from them, they actually lose money. I actually think they lose money from that. Because they had to buy their own inventory, and between that transaction, two separate entities pay tax. I'm pretty sure Down Cigar is at the carrier, right? Down Cigar, Embargo, I will speculate Fox Cigar might carry them too, so. Okay. I know Embargo had to carry it because that video shows that they were going to Embargo. Alright. So this, I can tell, is nicely fermented. It's a little tight draw for me, which I didn't like, but then again, it's man-made material, so sometimes you're gonna get a tight draw. I don't even know where the draw tool is, so I'm just gonna keep pressing on it. It might be just this one. I smoke another one to know if it's all of them. So the bottom part is to loosen up a little bit, but the top part very tight. Right? It is a better cigar. It has overall more of a woodsy, more of a acid-like spice and star anise flavor to it. No, AVC is basically like company like I don't know. They are a wholesaler. Like you cannot call Casa Cueva to buy cigars, right? You had to buy from one of their retailers. I can taste the creaminess. I can taste the star anise. I can taste a little bit pepper. I can taste that the flavor lingers a little bit, but it just this. Where's my? Yeah, to solve this problem, I am gonna cut the cap a little bit more because the draw is just not enough for me to get a full taste out of it. Oh my god. Okay. It's a very tightly packed tobacco. Look at how tight this is. Look at this. Right, I'm not kidding. This is very tightly packed tobacco. Like I can't get anything out of it. So I'm gonna loosen up just a little bit. Hopefully it'll get better because like they might have just a little bit too much tobacco in here. I mean the flavor tastes good, but hopefully construction is not like the same problem that we used to have with like Obrigado and stuff. It's usually too tight. I'm just trying to pick out of it. Sometimes you could, sometimes you can't. You know, this is the time where I can actually remember where the perfect draw tool is. That'll be great, but where's that tool? Where are you? There we go. Perfect draw tool. So yeah, it doesn't really help all the time, but sometimes hopefully this time it will help because it does taste good. I just don't want it to just pull a little bit out. No. There we go. That's a long one. Oh cow. I don't want to destroy the cigar. Just pull some stem out. There's some stem in there. Will it go with a coffee? Well, find out. Hold on. Let me get a good taste of this. Alright. Loosen up a little bit. Alright, a little bit more taste is going through. There we go. Loosen up. Come on. Okay. Even though I butchered the crap out of this, I think it's gonna do better now. It's loosened up a little bit now. Okay. Alright. Let me get this loosened up. Where is this? Where is this? I might have to lay another one up. There's something solid right here. But I think I can smoke it. It's just a lot harder than it should be. Full leaf tobacco. Oh, no, not good. Oh, actually, this will help. Kind of does help. All right. Let's taste to see if I can see how that will work out with the coffee. I think it will work with coffee, but I don't think it's gonna work too well with dark coffee. Like if you don't have any cream in there, it might be a little weird because it tastes just like a black coffee. So if you smoke this and then drink a black coffee, it's just gonna blend in. It's not gonna taste too much different. But if you add a little cream or milk in your coffee, it might taste a lot better because that'll balance out. There will be a little bit of sweetness to it. Try it again. Yeah, I think there it just takes a little bit to balance out. It takes a little bit to get that. There's a strong anise, star anise taste. It has a little bit of leather in there too. There's no grittiness. There's no not a lot of that earthiness I don't like. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about the cigar right now is the draw. The draw is horrible. But again, we all have good cigar that has bad draws, so I can't say that all of them are bad draw until I smoke a few of them. Pull some out. Okay. Now much better. I think I just pulled the one that was blocking it. Okay. There's an undertone of a cederness. There is yeah, that's a filthy Viking. This undertone of cederness. There is, like, you can taste the good fermentation on this one. You can taste that it's aged a little bit, but not enough. I feel like it wasn't aged enough. It will probably be better if you let it age just a little bit longer. You know, it's like cooking that Chinese food. You forgot a little bit more MSG, that kind of thing. Like you can taste it that potentially it could be a good cigar, but it's like lacking just a tad. In terms of the flavor of the Filthy Viking compared to the old one, I can tell you right away, the old one is more creamy. The old one has a little bit more nuttiness, right? And it could be because of how long it has been sitting for aging and stuff like that. I don't know. But right now, I am not getting the same amount of the body of that creaminess or that nuttiness that comes in after. That really go with the coffee, you know, because the old Filthy Viking that I smoked, the OG Filthy Viking, has that creaminess to it. It has that nuttiness that really go with a really nice coffee. But this one, Star Anise takes over, like it literally takes over. But it's like, it's not like bad fulfillment. It's just not the same fulfillment. Overall, the taste is kind of similar, right? overall the taste is kind of similar, and I think that it might be because they just released it and literally travel through all the water, sit there for like 2 months. I think that they got it they got the shipment sometime around November, December. So it probably did not sit long enough to go through the entire aging process and stuff like that. They probably they had to hold it for a little longer. I think that if you buy this, you want to let it sit. All right, you want to let it sit for a little bit, and obviously we'll have to kind of revisit this if I was to give it a full review whether or not this thing changed for the better, or if it changed for the worse, you'll know. Tastes good though. It does taste good. The part where they are similar, this cigar is slightly better. The part where they are not the same, it leaves a little bit things to desire. Does that make sense? Probably 6 months to a year. I think this thing will be so much better next year. Alright, okay. Now a little bit creaminess go through. So first third, no creaminess. A little bit, it starts to come through a little bit. Alright. The creaminess has a tad of saltiness too. Alright, the creaminess has a little saltiness that goes with it. It does linger, which is a good thing. It's a good sign. I don't like cigar that doesn't have a flavor to linger. I like it because it kind of lingers. But it does leave something to the desire. And hopefully this gets better as we go to it. I do like the band. Alright, but nothing personal. Alright, Tim, we have better bands than you. I'm sorry, but between the two bands, that's the two bands. It did improve. The band did improve, but in terms of the depth and emboss, I think I would have a better job. Dougal Lizard, I think that if you take it immediately to compare to your old ones, it's not gonna be a fair assessment. Only because that your old one has been sit there for a while. It has to take time to age, to kind of settle down. All the young tastes go, yeah, and now they're like, yes, grasshopper, you shall engage in the flavorness of Zen. It's kind of different. So it's only time can tell if this thing gets better. Even Obrigado gets a little bit better over time. So, and especially the short run. The short run Obrigado was pretty good. I have to say the short run was good. If they can bring that back, it would be great. But I highly doubt that. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not too sure. But I think that Obrigado used to be made by Esteban. Esteban or something like that, one of the brand. But now it's not. So I don't know how that is. I have to try them all. But for me, all I really care is this, because we have a little bit of history on this Filthy Viking. So that's what I really care for. Obrigado, not so much. Even though that is the first cigar from Cigars Daily, but for me, Filthy Viking was the one that I really liked when it came out. Yeah, it almost feel like there's too much star anise flavor to it. That's kind of overshadowing all the other flavor. But if you like that flavor, if you like the little pepper and star anise, this is like the bomb. But if you like complexity and all that stuff, you might have to wait a little bit for that to age out to even, because right now there's a lot of fermented Esteban Carrera. There we go. a lot of fermentation flavoring to it. There's a lot of like I said, the spice, the star anise, but the creaminess is so hard to find in this one right now. The nuttiness that I used to have is hard to tell in there. Yeah, like a whole mouthful of that star anise flavor. That it might go good with the coffee. It depends on the coffee that you drink. So I heard Tim say he was bringing back the blend size of short run for Obrigado at one point on a live or video. He said he might, but that I don't think that's gonna happen because now the company that makes Obrigado is different. So hey. Zebra and Liga Muerte were made by Asper Carreras. I think the Obrigado as well, but I can't recall. However, I think the entire line of American Viking is by the same company now. So I think, you know, if you're not going with the same manufacturer, a lot of time the material are different, and you can only get as close as you can, but never the same. It's like if you try to get Chinese food from one Chinese restaurant, going to the other Chinese food restaurant, it's got to be slightly different, even if it's the same stuff. I have an entire box of short arm left. I just didn't smoke that one. I ended up buying 2 boxes of the short arm because it's so cheap. It is on the website. What website? Let me take a look. Let me take a look. Nope. If I type in Obrigado short, nothing is on. They had a short run size now, but I don't think it's different brand. It's just the size, right? It's just the size, Corona size, but it's not the same. You know, Tim, if you're watching this, you need to change the band on the Obrigado. It's not the first edition anymore. Change the band, man. Gotta change the band out the other ones. Come on, change the band on this one. The short run size, which is Corona, the short run have 5-year age. Yeah, it's different. It's different wrapper. The short run is different wrapper and different. It's much aged, and I don't think that even if you age the Obrigado is not gonna be the same. So, but I know that all the blend has changed. I don't know how he's gonna get the same blend. Let me see. In terms of that website, I only been to that website one time. I haven't been back to that website. See if there's anything different. Nope. Right, the flavor kind of evened out a little bit as it goes, but I think one of the problem here is that because I have a really uneven draw right now, the really hard draw might not burn evenly, as you can see, kind of not even. So I might not get the full effect of how the wrapper should be, and I've been pressing on it and it's cracking just a tad because I press a lot and try to shift the size. Hey, Ron Real TV. I couldn't find a sample on CD site. Was it sold out? No, it is on a Cigars Daily site. That I know for sure. Let me see. If you click on Cigars Daily, and it's literally the first sampler that pop up their screen called the American Viking Cigar Blend. Alright, so let me see if I can find. I'm going through, like, if I go to the samplers. Good car. Oh, maybe they did remove it. Why would they remove it? They have plenty of stock. I'm going through with it to see if I can find it. There you go. You are right. I can't find it anymore. Got a tobacco leaf stuck in my teeth. What? Yeah, the sampler is gone. You know what? Let me message him and ask what's going on. While I'm alive, you know, might as well. I might as well ask him. All right, let me ask him. Alright. I just texted him. We'll see if he will answer. We'll put it back. We'll put it back. We'll make him put it back. Let's make him put it back. John Stokey G. Vacation here in about a week. There is a sampler that has all the new cigars of the American Viking brand. I don't know why he removed it. So we just text him, see if he'll respond. We'll put it back on. What did Aaron ask? Now, Aaron, because of the fact that a lot of companies like to kind of keep their manufacturer hush hush, they don't want us to disclose, so we cannot confirm or deny on that blend. Even though if you go ask him, he'll be like, honestly, I'm gonna tell you this is the blend, this is the manufacturer. But I just cannot tell you on the screen what it is because I'm not I am not in control of that. I don't know if there's a legal issue or bridges to burn or whatever. I just don't know. I just know that if you want to ask him, you'll ask him directly, even send him an email, he'll probably tell you. Here goes. Now, he just gave me an answer, and I just gotta ask him, can I disclose this answer? Alright, give me a second to see if he will let me disclose that answer. Okay, here we go. Now, the answer is that because it's so popular, they kind of don't have enough to fill the order, so they took it off. But if you want to buy the sampler, it will be back this weekend. Alright, it will be back this weekend. And I asked him if I can disclose that because I don't know if he's gonna have it now. He said it's safe to say it will be back this weekend. So if you want to get it, we can revisit this weekend and it should be on. Again, I previously asked him about whether or not we can get a discount. He says not yet, no. So no discount on that one, but in the future I can ask about that. But there is this one cigar is one that I will really think that he wants us to buy from other shops instead of their own shop because it will cost them more to buy and sell that same brand. It wouldn't make sense. Buy from other shops, that will keep the other shop continue to carry this brand. So it might, that allows them to expand and eventually you'll have it in your local shop. Probably much better. Most of the cigars you smoke on the market have their tobacco. Pretty much, yeah. I think 90-something% of the cigars brands, like the standard brands, have their 1 or 2 blend from them. Okay, so like if you were to say any of the cigar I pick up right now has Plasencia tobacco, probably. Okay. Probably. Let me just respond one more text back to him. Say my name right and what, Aaron? That's okay. You know, there's no way for us to know whether or not we got things right. So, you know, we can only try our best. We can only try our best. We can only try our best. But yeah, you know, English is my 4th language. You gotta give me some slack here. I love to put him on the spot. I'm telling him that he better give me an answer now because I'm doing this live stream right now. If he doesn't give me an answer, people have to wait. And then he responds right away, which is great. I like to put people on the spot. And it's best when you put people on the spot for discount codes. People is gonna hate me for this. I'm telling you. Even though they're gonna make money, they're gonna make less money because of that. But it's true that, you know, as cigar buyer, there's no such thing as like a store hugger or brand hugger. We go wherever is cheaper. We go wherever is convenient and wherever is cheaper. So sell it cheaper, you'll sell more. This is what I do sometimes, is to poke a hole on the side so that I can control the airflow because it's so tight. There's not enough air going through. I'm gonna be lack of oxygen and die. So you'll see me smoke a little bit and then let some air out so I can pull more, and then allows the smoke to be smokable. Now, like I say, this might need a little bit longer aging. As of now, this particular cigar, discounting, yes, I do. Discounting the flavor, but not discounting, just not counting the tar draw, because it could be just this particular cigar. Let's just talk about flavor only. In compare the two, old one and the new one, based on memory, I think the old ones are better. I'm not even kidding. I think the old ones are better based on today's experience. You know, this could change as I let them sit longer, and maybe the creaminess will go out, or maybe another one will burn much better, and then it's gonna smoke better. But yeah, Mandarin, Chinese, Cantonese, Taiwanese, Japanese, some Koreans, English. A few dialects. That's pretty much it. Yeah. It's lacking a little bit of the creaminess that's like well known in Filthy Viking. But the flavor lingers nicely. That I like. But in terms of like an overall package, I like that nuttiness and that creaminess from the old Filthy Viking that this one did not have. But it doesn't mean that this is a bad cigar. It's just not as good a cigar right now at this moment. Because it has so much of the spice and the star anise that, well, you know, Spanish, you just learn the typical ones like hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, ¿y tú? Así, así, you know, amigo, you know, Cinco de Mayo, that kind of stuff. I just know words here and there because I used to hang out with, you know, Mexicans that speaks much more. So yeah, I just might. That's why I'm saying it could be because the draw. You know, it could be because draw, and I think aging it will actually allow the flavor to be more refined. So not one flavor is particularly punchy than other. That might, you know, is peaking that flavor. Might need more time to set. So again, this is the first impression, and then as we go, we'll revisit it to see if it gets better. I do have enough to revisit it, so. But yeah, I used to hang out with Spanish people, and they party all the time. So at nighttime, you go over there and like, hey amigo, ¿qué pasa? You know, that kind of stuff. They do it. I don't know. Mexican people are actually really friendly. You know, you go over there, say, hey, what's going on, friend? You know, my friend, what's going on? They usually respond well. I never. Like, if you go to another American guy, white or black, whatever, you go to one randomly and go, yo, what's up, my friend? They would look at you like, no, stay back, 10 steps away from me, you know? But if you go to another Mexican and you just go, hey, amigo, what's up, man? And then they will actually respond to you. It's like, hey, not much, just living, you know? They usually will respond nicely. It's just, I don't know. They're happy people. Like, if anybody say that those, you know, I don't agree with how some politicians, you know, talk degrading about, you know, illegal immigrants, Mexicans and stuff like that, because I know a lot of illegal immigrants, and they're usually fine people. Like, you gotta find one or two bad guys, illegal or not. So I wouldn't count that as like because you are illegal immigrant, you gotta be bad guy. There's a lot of nice people, so I'm interested to see how much better Obrigado is because it wasn't my favorite. I definitely wanted I definitely would like to try that as well. That might be the next thing I get, just for the heck of it. Yeah, they hug, they hang out. You know, if you see a group of Mexicans people sitting over there drinking beer, and you just go over there to chat with them, they will just hand you the beer. If you see a group of American white guys or whatever, go over there and chat with them, they were just waiting for you to leave. Okay, that's just my experience. Okay, I've never once go up to a random group of young white people and just try to say, hey, what's going on, guys? And sit down and start talking. They'll be like, we're talking here. Can you leave now? That's just personal experience. You guys might experience otherwise. My experience, when I go to random people, they are not as friendly as if I go to a random Mexican. Alright? Now, however, Puerto Ricans are different. It scares me by going near them. So, because they always like top off and everything, and then just drinking over there in a really weird way. Even though they might be nice enough to talk to you, you have this feeling of like, I need to get out of here now. But Mexicans, never a problem for me. Never ever a problem. Like, they are very friendly. They throw super awesome parties. All right, super awesome parties. They hang out really good, and once you hang out with them one time, they'll remember you the next time. They'll actually remember you the next time when you go hang out with them. They, when I walk by, and they will be like, "Yo, Tony, amigos, come here over here, come here." I'm like, no, next time, come here, come here. And I'll be like, oh, okay, and then they'll be like, beer. I'm like, I don't really drink beer. They're like, Tony, come, Tony. I'll be like, okay. I still have some of the old obrigados. Next time we'll bring it out to compare as well. But then again, the obrigado has been sitting in my humidor, so it aged a little bit more. So I don't even think that will be a fair assessment to compare something that's aged for at least a year to something that hasn't. But yeah, parties, Mexican, they go together. Alright? I think Mexican people, they work hard and then they party hard. Alright? They work. I've never seen one Mexican complain about working. I could be wrong, but I've never once walk up to a Mexican and I'll be like, "How's work, man?" They never say it sucks, I want to go home. They never say that. They're like, good, yeah. I'm like, okay. Like they're always like that. They might be like a cleaner in the office. They'll be cleaning. Like they will be very quietly cleaning. All right, and then you go over there. It's like this one guy I know is John. Hey John, what's going on? And they're like, yeah, Tony. Like right away, drop the thing to the side. Like, yeah, what's going on? And then like once you're done, you walk away, go back, clean again, quiet, can't hear a thing. It's crazy. So, yeah, that's my experience with Mexicans. They are just super happy. So like a lot of people talk about different things. It's like, have you been there? If you haven't, you need to try it, because partying with Mexican, you will end up not remembering your night, but you just remember that you're happy. They do happy music too, Blast their music, beer, chatting, joke about each other. They are good hosts. I think that's the right word to say. They are good hosts. They're very happy hosts. I've never seen one that really doesn't want me to be there. I usually get dragged in because where I used to be in the student years, there's a lot of Mexican over there. It is what they call the sanctuary zone, sanctuary city. So when I walk by, they always like, Tony, come here, Tony. I'm like, okay. Fun experience, good memory. I have nothing but good memory with Mexicans. Except one guy that I have never seen before stole my car. Alright? His name is Carlos Malos. Stole my car. My car was found 3 days later. Well, technically my wife's car. It was found 3 days later. And then the guy's caught, and then the police it's like, oh yeah, the person's name is Carlos Malos. I was like, what a weird ass name. But yeah, but I can think Carlos is a very typical, but Carlos Malos, it's like you never even tried. You didn't even try to come up with the name. Yeah, you don't go hungry. They make good food too. They make good food. When they make tacos and stuff like that, they good. The ones I go to, they don't drink a lot of tequila because they're low income. They don't really spend that. They rather have 3-4 cases of beer rather than one jar of tequila to share with everybody. They usually party big. Like usually like you find like 6 to 10 Mexicans sitting in one place in someone's apartment just party. And I don't know how, but they wake up the next day just fine. All right, they wake up the next day as if it never happened, fully rested, not even tired, super hyper as well. Super hyper. I don't know. That's just me. But I can go on and on because I have such a fond memory of hanging out with Mexicans. That guy would say that he borrowed your car. Yeah. I locked my car. Or locked that car that night. It was funny because I don't know if I told you guys before. Me and my wife at the time were dating. We went to Disney World. So we traveled for 5 days. That car was parked there in our parking lot for 5 days. And when we came back, the car was still there. I drove the car out to Burger King, bought burgers for the night to eat. Park back to the parking lot, locked the door, and I woke up the next morning. The car was gone. So that 5 day I'm not there, they didn't steal the car. The day that I came back, they stole the car. All right, and good thing is that there was LoJack. They found the car from LoJack, but still, that car was trashed. We got it was gutted, so we pretty much did not get much out of it because that was used car, and that was the last time I want to buy a used car because when you trash a used car, they don't pay you anything. They don't you gotta spend even more money to find another used car. Didn't make sense to me. So from that point on, we buy new cars. Because back in the day, in the school year, everybody wanted to buy a car. Every Asian wanted to buy a Honda or a Nissan, modify the crap out of it, and drive it. And that car that got stolen was an Integra. So we all want to modify and buy those cars, but those cars are such an easy thing to get targeted, to get stolen. It kind of got creamier as it go. It kind of got more balanced as it goes as well. But yeah, I think it will get better if you let it rest longer. I think it could definitely be better. Right now, if this was a 8.5, 9, this is probably a 7, 7.5, like a whole point off. But as if it got time to sit and age, it might be the same. Quick trip over to yeah, I can't do that here. Massachusetts, everything is more expensive. Everything is expensive. Everything is expensive. I don't know, but you know they make it work. They live well. I have a lot of good fond memory with it. Like I say, it's not the same to hang out with Puerto Ricans. I'm not saying that Puerto Rican is not good, but all right, Jared. Talk to you later. I'm not saying that they are not good people. I just didn't have the same because I feared them a little bit. I don't know why. They just had to look so gangster that I kind of like, yeah, it might not be the right crowd. You know, if you had a good experience, let me know. I haven't had the same experience as Mexican versus Puerto Rican, because the Puerto Rican always look so gangster. Always look so gangster. Yeah, that full front star anise is just so there, and plus that little saltiness to make it even more there. I think that needs a little bit more time to sit. I honestly think so. I just want to see if he responded again. Don't badmouth the Ricans. Technically, Puerto Ricans are just a New Yorker. But yeah, I don't have much Puerto Rican friends either, so I don't have that experience to tell you guys. Except that a lot of time I get feared, so I fear of them. Like when I go to California, I went to this place called Torrance. People who live in the California area should know Torrance, California. And I was driving, and I'm driving into a area where there's literally Puerto Ricans everywhere. And every house I drove by, I look over, there's a few people sitting near a chair, top off. You know, they just look like, dude, if you stop here, I'm gonna rob you, kind of look. And obviously that is a bad stereotype, but it feels that way. It feels like Torrance is one place that I would be afraid to walk around at night. It's so quiet, it's so weird. It's so quiet, so weird. So yeah, that is not a place that I recommend people to go hang out. Torrance? Yeah, Torrance. I go over there because there's one company over there that I had to do a consulting to. So I went over there and stayed in a hotel near that. And then, you know, beachfront sites and all that stuff, great. But at nighttime, it's freaky as hell. It's scary as hell. So I'm not trying to backmouth them. I just feel scared. The street almost have no lights. There's like barely any light, but the street is large, is wide and big. You know, it's just kind of scary. I don't know. You know, I don't have Michael Wells around me. I don't have Brendan around me. I don't have the Wells bodyguard around me. So you know, I get scared. And this was like 10 years ago. So this was 10 years ago. Yeah, that's very strong. That flavor is very strong. So you can tell that they use good cigar leaves for this for sure, because the flavor is very strong. But because one was much more strong than the other, I almost felt like it's slightly unbalanced. So it definitely, if you get it, let some rest. I won't even recommend you should smoke it right away, because you might get the same experience I do. It lingers. So the flavor that linger tastes good. The moment it kicks in first, you feel like it's a little bit too much. You know, the flavor seems like not, you know, you have, it's like you have a basketball team. You have Shaq as your front line, and then the rest of them are four little Asians. 5'4", 5'4" Asians, except one guy was a Shaq standing there. That's how it tastes like right now. The Shaq did great. All the Asians are like, I can't reach the hoop. I can't even run. That's how it feels like right now. So you kind of had to give a little time for those little Asians to grow taller, to start to get that flavor to come in. To get that flavor to come in. That's too bad. I mean, I was expecting, I don't know, I have too much expectation because I actually liked the Filthy Viking a lot, especially when it came out with the Robusto. Was perfect size for me, and the flavor was perfect on spot. But I think this one needs a little bit more work. This one needs a little bit more finesse and become more elegant of a flavor. It takes a little bit longer. Last third has a little bit more of a dark roasted coffee flavor, but still the creaminess is missing. I want that creaminess to kind of keep the flavor not as acidic flavor, more balance, more body to it. Yep, Space Jam. You know, they tried to make another Space Jam or something like that. With the count of cigars I have, I'm sure I won't have an issue letting them rest. I'm pretty sure you won't. It's just that, you know, it's got to take a... Like, when you first get it, you want to compare it right away, right? But it just needs a little bit more. But I have to say, though, I did like the old box better than this one. Because I like flip tops, but... I guess this way will reduce the price too, so help they keep price because the cigar itself is more expensive. So for them to sell at that price, they have to get a box that's less of intricate, less work, because this is just, you can tell you can tell that they just pretty much slap groove wood together, rather than shaving out all the thing and all that stuff, just glue them together. Because the look, you know, they're not perfect. They're like, you can see the edges, they just make quickly. So, although it looks nice, it has imperfections. Like, for example, that side, this side right here, see that chipped out a little bit? But when you put it in here, you don't really notice it. Like, when you put it up together like that, you don't really notice it. So, in terms of the presentation, I think I like the new band, but I like the old box better. All the facing are that cabinet box, yes. It will save some space, and it probably makes sense for you know, other retailers to be able to carry more of the facings because it doesn't take that much space. I think that might be the reason. But for me, yeah, I prefer the old box better because as buyer that likes to buy boxes, I actually pay a lot of attention to the box as well. So for me, the box was a little bit more important to me because that's part of the price that you're paying. But then again, they try to keep the price the same, but using more expensive materials, more premium tobacco. So it kind of, somewhere you had to give and take, right? Somewhere you had to give and take. All right, so back to Shadow Smokers Legion news. Now, because we don't have much of people that's gotta try to fight over the beat the King Zero this time. We have I think Christopher and Michael Wells gonna go head to head. We need to decide what the next cigar is gotta be. We have already done Robustos, Toros, and Gordos. I think the next one will have to be Toro. What do you guys think? The next one probably should be Toros. The next one had to be Toros, I think. What do you guys think? You guys think that we should do Toros, or you guys think that we should do other sizes? Like a Churchill. Churchill or Toros? What do you guys think? And in regards to today's most posted topic in Shadow Smokers Legion, okay? Most posted topic in Shadow Smokers Legion. Who do I blame on this? Chapin? Do I blame Chapin for the most posted topic today? How do you get involved? You had to first join Shadow Smokers Legion. We can do box priced. But the Habano Percento that's not available to everybody. So that'll be harder. I would prefer if we're gonna choose, we can choose. We can choose the box price too. Box price is fine. Yeah, but I think we should blame Chapin for that, right? Most posted topic today is thanks to Chapin. Like literally, it's hard to explain to anybody who doesn't know the context of what's going on. Should we show some of them? I think the YouTube will almost ban this one. But let's show some of them. Let's show some of them from today. How's that? Maybe we should vote which one is the best one. Maybe we should vote what's the best one. Camacho, Connecticut, BXP Toro. Ooh. Okay, that is a big one. So let's talk about that one. Let me bring up an image. Hey, look who's here. Let's bring that in here. Why not? Very soon, that will have a little R at that corner. Okay? Okay, let's do some show and tells. I'm just gonna scroll all the way down to sometime today. And then we'll start pulling up some of them. Mine was covered. Everybody else is not so much covered. Alright, so let's do this. Alright. Let me go back to the top and sort by today. Where's the sorting? Where's sorting? Here we go. Most recent post. And let's start to go with it. So we have Joseph, who posted this. All right. So when I show them, you guys rate it. Okay, rate it between 1 and 10. How good you think the photo is? All right, between 1 and 10. Ready? Here's the first one. Between 1 and 10. What do you think? Between 1 and 10. How creative you think this is? How creative is this? Between 1 and 10. Whew, almost burned myself. 5. Fours, okay? Five, okay. Next one. Now, I think now this one, the displacement is off a little bit. Displacement is off a little bit on this particular one. This should be disqualified because the displacement is not good. Should be the right distance. This is not good distance. It's more realistic than science. Really? I don't know how many you've seen, but I haven't seen much of them like this. Even if outside was cold, like he mentioned. Alright. Then we have Travis. The title almost killed me because he said snack time. This one he says snack time. I think it's almost inappropriate to say snack time on this one. Travis Accord. Travis Accord. I'm sorry. Every time I want to say Accord, but it's Accord. That was James when it gets cold. 1.5? 1.5? Okay. 1.5. That's brutal. You guys are brutal. 1.5. 1.5. You guys are brutal. Alright, next. Let's see. I mean, this next one is from James. I actually think it deserves to have a little bit better score. Because this is actually more of correct, you know. This one is from James. I think this is technically more correct. Alright. In terms of the word that will be used, this will be correct. This will be correct. What do you guys think? This deserves to be a good score. Alright, this deserves to have a better score. Eight, okay. Eight, okay. Now that's legit. That's legit. That's good. 8, okay. And this next one, which says good morning, I think this one should get it checked out. Alright, this guy got some serious issue. Somebody might have kicked it. Somebody might have to kick them in the morning to get to this this particular result in the next one. You know, when it's that swollen, you need to get it checked. When it's that swollen, you need to get it checked, right? You need to get it checked. I don't know. When it's red and, you know, you need to get it checked. There might be some infection going on here. There might be some infection going on here. This one is from Chapin again. How many he's got to post? You know, this one needs to get it checked. Um, 9, 10. Okay, okay. Nice, okay. Nice, wow. I thought you guys would be more brutal than that. Nice. Alright, next one. Where is it? See, mine was not as bad as this one. This one is just, you know, come on. This one only appears in adult videos. This one needs this one is carrying some weapon. Technically, I would say this is close to a weapon. Alright, this you know, this will be good morning. Hello. This, yeah. Continue to find them because they're like here and there. $8.5. Okay, 9. All right, all right. Home wrecker. Home wrecker. I'd rather be able to wear a short now. You can't wear a short in this one. And the next one is from Greg Clipper. And I think this one should be disqualified. This doesn't count. This doesn't fit the theme, okay? But I'm going to show it anyway. Because this should be disqualified. Alright, it won't even fit my screen. Holy crap. Oh my god. There we go. This should be disqualified. Alright? You know, it's empty. The buckets are empty. This should be disqualified. So. We all know what happens when those two things are purple and blue. There's some issues, especially if it's empty. You definitely want to get a doctor. You definitely want to get the doctor, all right? And when something is purple and blue in this arrangement, go see a doctor. Go see a doctor. $11. 11. $25. That's probably like 25. That's like 2.5 yards, I think. Big fat 10. Big fat 10. He dumped his load. Still purple? I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of empty now. Kind of empty now. And obviously you guys thought mine, which I think this literally will consider as a good night and good morning. Good night and good morning because it's a little sore. It's a little sour. So, good night and good morning here. Good night and good morning. Someone had a good night and then they had a good morning. Some people, even with a proper name. This is the morning, yeah, that. I think that's a proper name. Proper name. Proper color. Proper color. Alright? With the yellow breed, proper color. Proper coloring. What do you think? What do you think? But again, let's remember this particular issue, we blame Chapin. This topic is probably most talked about aside from the brulee today. This thing has like more than this topic alone in 5 different posts has over what, almost 200 responses to it. So see, this is why I love Sherry. Sherry gave me 100. Sweet and sour. Sweet and sour. This is the proper anatomy. The last little bit of this cigar actually tastes more balanced than the beginning. It could be because I already passed that part. It's hard to draw, but they are well shaved. They are well shaved. They are well shaved. That's why they look longer. When it's well shaved, they look longer. I don't know. Now that somebody says well shaved, watch Chapin tomorrow do one with like seaweeds on top. I just want to make sure. I'm checking the chat room. Make sure there's no one that's under 18. Mentally under 18, that's okay. But I'm just gonna make sure that no one is under 18. So, okay, mentally under 18. We're all like that. Mentally under 18. 70s Bush. Just put it out there. I do not want to see the counterpart of what we post today tomorrow. I do not want to see that. All right, we're gonna have a problem if we do. The group's gotta get shut down, man. Come on, come on. Don't be crazy at that. Don't be crazy. Just let it go. Let it go. All right. We talked about this. It's working great. All right. Most chat about topic. You know, I think that'll be interesting for other people that's not in the group to see stuff like this. That, you know, what kind of crazy stuff we do in the group. All right. We don't always just talk about cigars. We are creative. All right. We are very creative. So yeah. I can't believe we talked about this today. I can't. But what the. Alright, I'm just going down to see if there's any more. I think that will be it. That will be it. Private message, Tony. For what? For what? Don't private message me. I'm busy. Don't private message me. I'm too busy for that. Come on. Come on. And I see people start posting out their box of Shamrocks. I did order 3 boxes for the group buy, and they are all gone. Okay, and I just received an email that they're shipping to me already. Tracking numbers in, so I should ship out those things sometime next week. Cause Friday is the day I travel to New York, so I won't have a chance to send that out, even if I receive it by tomorrow, which I won't. I based on the tracking number, it will be sometime next week. Okay, sometime next week. So, you know, it will take a little bit. It will take a little bit. Okay? Chapin just had to remind me a lot of those stuff. Box 481. Last one from Neptune. If anybody knows source, let me know. The Cuevas Edition Limitada. Okay. Equal time. Now we know what girl's Snapchat message looks like. I don't know. I've seen a lot of Snapchat messages, and they are usually dumb stuff. I'm not even kidding. Like I don't understand Snapchat, to be really honest with you, because like it gets you like 1 minute to view a message or something like that, and the key is that it'll be destroyed. So whatever stupid thing you send over is not gonna, like, if it's on the internet, it's forever. You know, that kind of stuff. But I've never seen anything really stupid. I mean, like, what we consider stupid. It's just, like, really not particular. However, you could just take a screenshot, right? People who use Snapchat, let me know. You can take a screenshot. There's an app that can record Snapchat. And that kind of defeats the point. that kind of defeats the point. I don't see what good on that. I mean, I know that some messengers actually tell you if the other side took a screenshot. Something like Snapchat is actually not that safe. It's actually not that safe. I don't understand Snapchat, and that company got sold for a lot of money for destroying chat. I don't know. I've seen a few Snapchat because I was with my friend and they received it. It's like, hey Tony, look at this. I'll be like, what? Because by the time he showed it to me, the time is up. There's nothing to see. I was like, but the point is that you won't last long. You won't last long. So I don't understand the logic behind it. You know. Now I'm gonna smoke one more cigar, a small one, because like I say, that cigar, even though it's good, it lacks certain flavor that leaves something to be desired. So I'm gonna smoke one more cigar. Tiny one. Bear with me for another like 5-10 minutes. Woo! Okay. Hopefully, as I let it sit, which I'm gonna let it sit for a while and see next time when we smoke it, it's gonna be better or not. We will revisit the new Filthy Viking. It's kind of weird because when I message a few friends talking about American Viking company, like I have Asian friends, so we talk. Sometimes I talk about, say, hey, one of the person I know started a company called American Viking. As we chat, we start to use acronym. It's easier to type, right? I just type AV, which my friend halfway through the message is like, are we talking about the same thing anymore? Because AV in Asian language, AV is adult video. So as I talk, and then just like, are we still talking about the same thing? Because we were changing topic. I had to make sure I'm not, we're in public talking about this. I was like, no, American Viking. So it's AV, right? I wonder how he came out with that name. Just go American Viking. I would think that it would be something more aggressive, rather than American Viking. The name itself doesn't sound like a cigar company. I don't know. It might be just me. American Viking sounds like fishing gear or like a boat company or something like that. It didn't sound like a cigar company. Filthy Viking does sound like a cigar, but American Viking did not sound like a cigar company to me. Because usually I think cigar company use names, right? Their last name. And American Viking are really not that, So it's like, how do you come up with that name? It's not a bad name. It's just it gives a different impression, right? When I say, hey, have you heard about American Viking? They'll be like, are you talking about like a cruise company? No, it's a cigar company. It's a cigar company, but it sounds like a cruising company, right? Doesn't it sound like a cruising company? Royal Caribbean, American Viking, Princess Cruise, my neck. What else is there? Just sounds like DTT doesn't. But DTT is Don Barton. It's still people's name, right? It's still a name. I'm talking about the full name. So. Oh, I don't know how many people watches wrestling. In wrestling, there's a move called DDT. Do you guys know that? DDT? When I first heard the DDT in America, I literally thought they were talking about something else. In Asia, we call insect repellent, insect bug killer DDT. That's what we call it in Asia. Alright? in English stands for dichlorophone diphenyl ritular thing, all right, known as DDT, which is a colorless, tasteless, almost odorless crystalline chemical compound used to kill bugs. All right, so DDT in Asia is actually a bug repellent killer, and when I come to America, somebody say DDT, one is like, welcome to watch WWE whatever, Monday Raw, and then you hear somebody go DDT, or like, what? Are they killing bugs? So yeah, acronym changes as country changes. So when I first hear DDT, I actually thought in America, they're like, I went to stores looking for bug repellent and I asked for DDT, and they were looking at it. What are you talking about? And with the really broken English, bug, bug. I said, oh, you want bug repellent? Yeah, DDT. But when you say to majority of people, especially people in like Lowe's and Home Depot, they gotta go bug repellent. It's called bug repellent, insect repellent. Which one you want to look? Diamond something was the wrestler. I don't even know the wrestler's name. Now, when I come to America, the era of wrestling that I watched was the time when Eddie Carrera was still alive. I literally watched up to, a little bit past the part that he died. And that was pretty much it. Like, I don't even know why I watched it, but it was on TV, so I watched it. But I remember that was the age that I watched. I didn't have that kind of crazy people. Hulk Hogan was already over, kind of thing. But wrestling, if you don't keep up with the story, it's like, I always wonder how did they decide winners? Like, how did they decide winners? Because, you gotta have winner, right? Like, as Americans champ, John Cena, that kind of stuff. How did they decide John Cena was gotta be the winner? Like, because they're acting out a role, right? The pain's real, but the stories are fake. So, who decide who wins? And like how How do they decide who's gonna win? Who's gonna be the champ? Right? Because everybody will want to be the champ, right? But how do they choose who's gonna win? Like, do they draw a string, or do they just find out which person's merchandise sells well? How did that work? I live right next to Supply Fly Snaka family. I don't know what that is. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? I remember when I watched, I think The Rock was still very young. Very, like, underwhelming. Yeah, and like, DDT is no longer used in bug spray in the USA, yeah. Marketing? So who had the more marketing gets the thing? Because it's like, if you're new, then you'll never win. Then you'll never win because obviously the older people has much more merchandise, much more fan, right? But John Cena came out, became the champ, easy. I don't know. I don't know who Jimmy Snuka is. Snuka. So that shows you how much I know about wrestling. I don't. I just know the few characters. I know Eddie Carrera has a family member. I can't remember his name. I remember there was like Kurt Eagle, something like that. Kurt Eagle. There was the Big Show, who retired and come back like 3-4 times, which doesn't make sense to me. Except that he ran out of money, I guess. I remember watched that time there was like Undertaker, and who killed his like controller and became himself, which Cold Steve drinks beer all the time, and they say that like he really doesn't like beer or something like that. So they say that he really doesn't like beer, and there was one time he literally shat himself while wrestling. he have a beer company now or something like that. Like, he's not wrestling anymore. He actually runs company now. So yeah, I know that he actually runs company now. Didn't he run a non-profit too, or something like some sort of non-profit he's running as well? Nice guy. I mean, you know, we always judge people by like what they do and stuff like that, but behind the scene they're doing good things. So, Ric Flair, the one that's really dressed up, really crazy, is that the one? Randy Orton, King Kong Bundy. What, you guys know a lot of names. I barely can come up with a few. You got that just tells you guys watch it. I really don't. I don't understand the structure and why like management keep changing. That doesn't make sense to me. Did they really change or did they not? I know they split up. How did is that really split or is that just for show? Cold Stone was true to the game and good dude in real life. Still live in Texas too. Wrestling was what we graduated to when Power Rangers season 1 and 2 was over. Really? Power Ranger is so weird because I grew up with that. You know, I grew up with when the Rangers only 3. All right, they start out with 3 people, and as they progress, have 5, and then like all of them are not related. In America, Triple H, it's just like he's there forever. It seems like he's just in that forever. But yeah, Power Rangers in America, the storyline continues, right? They just like keep changing the thing, but the storyline continues. Somehow they're related. But in Japan, each Power Ranger group that you think that is just the next arc is the totally different story. Totally different people, totally different story. They don't link. I don't know. Somehow America was able to link them together, but it was not linked at all. We don't even have like the Green Ranger. We don't have that kind of. We don't have White Rangers. We have Green Ranger or something like that. And you know somehow they just were able to link it all together. I just don't know how. Right? We have movies for the Power Rangers, very different than the Power Ranger movie over here. The movie in Power Rangers kind of stuff, you will end up seeing like 40, 50 Power Rangers together because they are different stories and they all come together, and you'll see like a whole thing. Like there was one movie that has 50 Red Rangers. Okay, 50 Red Rangers together. Which is super cool. Power Ranger and the Mask Riders are like the 2 most popular thing in Japan. Right now, I still watch Mask Rider, and like I think the most recent one they did was on software, on car keys, on the slide car keys. So I had 10 Asian Power Rangers. Yeah, it's just weird. The Power Ranger. It's not the same how I watched the Japanese one. I watched the Japanese one more than I watched the US one. I think I only watched the original US one, which is the regular Power Ranger with the animal ones. Okay? And in Japan, they just, each season is just a different one. They're not related. We call them ninjas. But yeah, Power Ranger in Japan, very popular. Every kid grew up with one specific type of Power Ranger. We have, I think in 2010-ish, 2012, I think, there was a set of Power Ranger that's for dinosaurs, and they dance before they transform. They literally had to do a jungle dance before they transform. But I don't watch as much Power Rangers as I watch Mask Rider, because Mask Rider is one of those things I watch all the time. One of the Mask Rider, most popular Mask Rider in Japan is actually the Mask Rider Black, and he's actually one of the most popular because he actually is the only rider that get 2 seasons of continuous story, 2 seasons of continuous story, the same person, and he's literally the end of that Japan era. So he was very popular. And this guy, you would never imagine, because he played Kamen Riders. He Mask Rider, but then he's actually a fisherman. He owns a fisherman company in Japan. He's a fisherman. I was forced to watch Power Ranger. My son was crazy about them. It's a good show. I watched it. So, teach about friendship, teach about fighting the evils. Man, when I say, why do I say, you're not gonna believe this. When I say fighting the evils, I think about Sailor Moon. I think about Sailor Moon because I think the lyrics is fighting evil by moonlight. But yeah, I grew up in that era. I grew up with the boom of anime and real life shows. I grew up on that era. You know, at that time, all the guys will watch Dragon Balls, Sailor Moon, Crayon Shin-chan, Evangelion, Doraemon. What would be one that's very popular in US? I mean, literally the generation before Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Digimon came out. It's literally that, like fighting kind of thing. I watched a real Power Ranger. His name was Bruce Lee. You mean Green Lantern? Not Green Lantern. Shoot. Green Hornet. Too bad for Bruce Lee. His lifeline just dies out like that. So, Airbender. Airbender is not. It's actually American anime. It's not a Japanese animation. Michael Wells, if you don't watch anime, you're missing a good chunk of Japanese Japanese, not heritage, but Japanese pop culture. Anime is such a big thing. It's multi-billion dollar company. Without anime, there won't be any good video games. Literally, anime drives video game. A good anime come out in Japan, they will then make a video game. And that's how video game continues to progress, because they use that as a topic to promote video games. I have to tell you, recently I've been watching people playing like old Nintendo video games. Like, there are some games that you just never think of that ever existed. You know, back in the, if you watch the graphic and think about how people used to think, it's totally different. Back in the day, there was a game from Nintendo called Sweet Home. Sweet Home. Let's see if I can find it. NES Sweet Home. Oh, I found it. Okay, here we go. Back in the day, there's a video game called Sweet Home. Alright? It was actually considered the most scariest game. So scary, they don't release in US, and a lot of country banned the game. Banned the game for being too scary. What is a good place to watch anime? Crunchyroll, Hulu, they both have anime. Alright? Nintendo had this game called Sweet Home. It's actually considered the scariest game of that era, and they do not allow that to be sold in US because it was too scary. But when you look at it, you're like, that's scary? So, show and tell time. This is the cover of that game, made by Capcom. Alright? So this is considered scary. It gives people nightmare. They couldn't sleep. Alright? Later on, it was like fan translated or something like that. It was an unofficial release of Sweet Home. Alright? So they later did release it, but it was told. Anybody heard or watched the cat shit one? What are you talking about? So this is considered scary. Let me find some screenshots for you guys. I would think something like Ghosts and Ghosts is more scary. So this was scary. This will give you nightmare. This is back in the day. I don't know if we have like such a weak mental or something like that. This was considered scary back in the day. Resident Evil was super scary and play at night. Resident Evil is what this was the game that was made to replace this. All right, so this was original was a story, and it got made into movie and then made into video game. And after they made a video game, they can only make it like this, and that was considered the scariest game. Now, the creator said that they couldn't make it the way he wanted because the limitation of video games. When they wanted to make this in the next generation gaming console, such as PlayStation, there was a patent dispute, trademark dispute, patent dispute, copyright dispute on that particular movie. So Capcom lost the license to make this game. So they end up making Resident Evil. That's actually related. That's actually related. All right. So they end up making Resident Evil because this game was the first idea why they want to make a scary game. So yeah, good thing for Martin to bring that up because I almost forgot about that. Yeah, Resident Evil was created after they want to make this, and they were like halfway through it, and they lost the license to make it, so they make it into Resident Evil. Cool story, cool knowledge. Nobody cares, but yeah, but that's how they came about. I would think this is something like Justin. If Justin watched this, he will be interested about that because it's quite rare, I think. Even though they don't sell for very expensive now. I think they're like $20, $30 to buy it now. But back in the day, it was a game that everybody will try to play. It's one of the first few games that has multiple endings. One of the first few Nintendo games that has multiple endings. Because you start with 5 people and they all had to escape this house. And literally, how many people leave the house will actually change the ending. And they literally wanted to make a sequel for it, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it because they lost the license for it. Interesting, right? Interesting, right? Not to change the subject, but I noticed more people are posting on the home page. Yes, I'm very glad that I fixed it. So our homepage actually works slightly better now. I know that people have some issue trying to post pictures. That's because the newest security patch and all the software is restricting the thing that makes a separate instance. Like when you use an app to pull up a web page, you're pulling a different instant. So you cannot find your gallery to post pictures. So if you have that problem, all you have to do is use Chrome or use your regular browser. You'll be able to do that. All right. So yeah, the homepage now works and works fine. When I go in, it's much quicker now. In majority of the cases, I can log in a lot faster because before it take a while to log in. I disable certain functions that was taking up time and stuff like that. So but right now it's working great. So if you want to post in a new home, you want to start trading on new home, go for it. That's the place to do it. That's the place to do it. Oh my god, I just scrolled down and I saw the Chapin's post. I just saw Chapin's post. I remember Zombie ate my neighbors for NES. I played quite a bit of NES game. And I remember when Super Nintendo came out, I thought it was the best thing ever created. When Super Nintendo came out, I could not stop playing it. I could not stop. In fact, when 3DO came out, Panasonic 3DO came out, I didn't even bother to play it. I played a few games, that was pretty much it. My cousin was super nerdy into computer games. I could never get into them. I played a PlayStation console. Yeah, it's a lot faster. Before it was trying to run few of the other things that kind of repeats certain things in there, but I disabled it, so now it's better. I put up on my Mac, Apple, mobile, all the way working great. So yeah, it's working a lot faster now, and I think that once you log in and kind of the computer or the phone ran through it one time, the second time when you refresh it, it runs slightly faster too. So right now it's working a little bit better. After all, we do want to keep the home active. We want to keep the home as our spare in case Facebook will go down or something like that. This is our home. for whatever reason in the future that Facebook is no longer a viable place for us to be, this will be our new home. All right, and do not give out the website. Do not give out the website other than for yourself. Okay, do not give out the website. It's very important. Do not give out the website. And aside from that, I want to tell you guys that although this is the way it is right now, all right, and shameless plug right here, that we still need fundings for to continue this website, because it does cost money monthly, annually, and for the certificates, for the place to host it, and all that stuff. So if you are interested in help out with this webpage, we do have a Patreon place that just for all the funding on that goes to this website. So if you just contribute to that Patreon, all the funding goes to this particular website that we're using, and we'll continue to use on that. If we have enough funding, we will eventually move into a dedicated server. When we have a dedicated server, we can actually upload videos. Right now, because we don't have a dedicated server, there's nothing help to transfer the video format to a format that can be on the website. So we don't have that right now. But if you guys want to do more, contribute, and then we will be able to run the site much more efficient. ROMs. Did somebody ask what ROM is? ROMs will copy of the original game. I mean, emulate them on my PC. Yeah. Just so you know, I don't condone ROMs. I don't condone ROMs, but I do, because it is illegal. It is illegal. We don't have the rights to do it technically, but if you want to play those games, ROM is the way to do it. Okay, ROM is the way to do it. All right. Also, as we get more people on that Patreon site, right now we don't have a lot, so it kind of defeats the point to do that. It doesn't fit the budget. But if we have enough people do it, we will run maybe quarterly raffle on people who is contributing. All right. So if you contribute to it, you will be able to run into a raffle that I can do quarterly with the stuff that we have here. So right now it just doesn't make sense. We don't have enough funding to even fund the site. Right now I'm just out of my pocket all the time. So we cannot do that yet. But if we have enough people and the funding allows, we'll run raffles on that particular thing. Anyways, that's it for my 2 cigars. And we went through a lot. It's pretty quick. Time flies by, really. So that's it for the night. I don't think I forgot anything. I just want to double check, make sure I didn't forget anything. I don't think we forgot anything. So we're good. We will revisit, and I will compare with the old Filthy Viking as we go. We'll revisit them, and we'll see if it gets better. I do suggest you to try it. The sampler pack come out this weekend. I'll probably end up buying a sampler pack just to get the other ones to try as well. We will reschedule the inch cigar from the sampler last time. I just had to make sure that everything is all set before I do that. Okay, so have a good night. Enjoy your day. We might not have a show this Saturday because I gotta be over in New York. But if anything, I'll probably put up a 30-second review. Okay, so I'll see you guys next week. And if you're in New York, make sure to come to the meet. And this time we'll be in the Madison Ave one, not the 6th Ave one. Madison Ave one. Okay, so I'll talk to you guys later. Be nice, behave, be saucy. See you guys later.